Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Resistance. We're going to take a look at a handful of intraday stocks and one short swing that we took. We have NWL here. Very unusual price action, very choppy, very thin. We have 6.8 from top to bottom, 6.8% swing in 2 minutes on a $6 billion company. Just disgusting. So we took a little bit long. We closed it out because it already moved basically $1. And look, we talked about this in the last video. Just lock it in. If a stock moves $1, just lock it in. And then it starts reversing. We didn't take it short. We saw it sort of range broke or broke below open price and then below yesterday's closing price as well. And then it wicked back up. I was like, okay, let's take the short here. If it's just going to wick back up and then come off, that's usually what happens when it fakes out to the upside, comes down, retests, continues to the downside. So start a short there, and then it'll be like a break below this level would be an add-on. But didn't occur. We took an L on this one at the end of the day. And yeah, we took a short here as well. So I can't remember what it was, but it was just before VWAP, as it was probably around here, 24.30-ish, coming off, bounced back, and we locked in like 20 cents profit or something like that. Nothing exciting, basically break even, really. And yeah, that's all she wrote for that stock. We're going to take a look at WTC. WTC, carrying on from Friday. Wasn't really expecting it. And, you know, especially with the way SAS is doing in overseas. I guess the news announcement about what non-sensitive announcement that came out caused it to move up, rallied. This whole sex trafficking thing is causing a bit of a distraction, as they say, you know, in the report. But we took it short from 38.50, 39, and we missed out on 39.50. But as it came off, the real target there was just VWAP, so it wasn't a huge trade by any means. Let's call 38.70 average, somewhere around 1.5% profit on that one as it was coming off VWAP. Wasn't expecting it to actually come through VWAP. Was actually kind of expecting it to swing back up, judging by how strong it was. But that was a big move. Like, that's 12% for the day on the back of non-sensitive news. So it probably is a short tomorrow. We got some chitter chatter in Discord about some people interested in taking a pretty decent short swing on this, because really this recovery just feels like there's not much to it, really. I don't know. It just, this company's in the shitter, I think, and with the allegations against the CEO, it's rough. I don't really think this recovers. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'm not predicting that this is going above 42 anytime soon. Hopefully, yeah, for my sake, because I would feel way more comfortable shorting this. If it starts rolling over, especially if it gets back below 36, that would just be the gold standard for me for shorting that. We have IGO. This is the short swing. Lovely, lovely, lovely daily. You can see here as it broke, started breaking down. Would have been a nice short. We called it this one a little bit late. And I just want to show you guys the daily chart. In terms of trend lines, there's not really anything. It's more pivots, horizontals. You guys know what I like. I guess you can call that a trend line that's kind of broken, retested, and it's coming off, rolling over. I'd love to swing this down below 7. I just have a feeling it's going to hit 7 and then mess around for a couple of days and then come off. These things don't like breaking off clean, honestly. But I'd love to see it at 6.50. That'll just be a nice clean move, I think. If it just got there within a week, that'd be lovely. So what are we looking at? So we're looking at, yeah, just about a 10% move. The risk is probably going to be 2% for a 10% reward. I don't see this breaking above 750, like the half number. It shouldn't even go above this candle today, honestly. If it is bearish, and if it is, I think we start cutting. So above 745 through to 760, you just take parcels out as it gets there, because you never know if it just bounces and rejects or anything like that. So we take it out in parcels. Depends on size too, but I think the order book's perfectly fine to go in maybe 3 or 4 parcels. So this looks good. Intraday, let's have a quick look. Lithium spot was coming off a few percentage points. So there was this sort of break, this change in momentum. So it goes up, and then starts going down. Perfect. I mean, that's some fucking kindergarten level charting right there. Goes up, goes down, brilliant. It breaks down, holds below VWAP. So this is where we got it at VWAP at 724. So we didn't get the best entry, but you know what, a few cents. I'm not fussed by that. Yeah, not fussed by it really. Increases our risk just a little bit, but you know, happy to do like 4 to 1, 5 to 1, something like that for risk to reward on IGO. We have RGT. This was fun. This was honestly, this was bread and butter type stuff. Bread and butter. Now, you guys probably heard me mention at least a couple of times now, what's the magic number? In order to get to 10 cents, what's the magic number that the stock needs to hit? Doesn't matter if it's coming off 5 cents, off 3 cents, even off 1 cent. What's the magic number in order to effectively guarantee, not financial advice, to get to 10 cents? That number for me is 8.4. And we get there. 8.5 right off the bat. I didn't want to take it on match. Honestly, I don't want to touch these speckies. You know, there was ILA was, you know, one stock as well that we were looking at, and I'm not big on these until we get a really good setup. So opens 6.5 open, and then yeah, launches to 8.5. Yeah, we missed out on the initial move. That's fine. It came off, came down, touched 7, started coming back up to VWAP, started buying. This is where we were buying on the way back up. We're not buying on the way down, ladies and gentlemen. We're buying on the way up. Now, can it do this? Hit VWAP and come off? Absolutely. We start cutting this thing if that's what happens, is if it starts rolling over, fine. But for me, in my mind, how I play these is if 8.4 cents is hit, that doesn't by default mean just buy the fucking thing, because you'll be buying it at the highs here at 8.5, panicking as it hits 7, sell out, and then the fucker bounces. So that's just how these things go. Just because it hits 8.4 doesn't mean it's a default buy for me. It can be. It's never just been that way. It really depends on the setup, how things are moving. And this is just a big early pop. I mean, this could very well have gone to 10. I would have missed out. It's like, that's fine. But it gave me a pullback, and that was what I needed. I needed that pullback, and I knew the second this started turning to the upside, I was getting in on it. And then we have a nice high volume pop, and then it just goes straight to 11. Now, the order book was very thin on 10 cents. It had like 200,000 shares, I think, at 10 cents. Peanuts. Actually, the whole order book was quite thin. And nice reloads on the bid. Unfortunately, I did get chopped up around here. So once this got to 9.9, that's basically the end of it for me. It's like, oh, I better start cutting. Like, I better start cutting right away. I think it took some at 9.5, and then I took another parcel. I'm not sure, but it was just immediately after it. And then, of course, you know, it hits 9 and then goes to 11. So it shakes me out on a 9.9 hit, which is really unfortunate, hitting at 9.9. But, you know, a good chunky seller. What usually happens is we get this right up. You can see the volumes come off. And then usually there's a spike to the upside on buying. But someone sold into the bid, and you can see there's this volume decline, and then a pop. And then it hits 9.9 and basically pops. That to me is a signal to just get out, because guess what? 90% of the time, there's another big volume candle that comes after it and starts sending this thing to VWAP or below VWAP. So, you know, I wasn't particularly confident in the news announcement. Like, it was good in the sense that it's 5.5 million write-off of debt effectively, but you know, and the market cap is 5 million, so they're effectively getting, oh sorry, that's 5.5 million USD, so it's about what, 7.5-8 million in Aussie dollar equivalent. So it fixed their books quite a bit. It's still a $5 million company, so getting to 10 mil is pretty reasonable. So, you know, it was comfortable to get to that sort of area here around the 10s, but the fact that it hit 9.9 and then had a volume spike to the downside, yeah, look, whatever. You know, it could have easily just have rolled over, come back to retest. If it came back to retest VWAP and the pivot, you bet I would have been on that. Yeah, assuming there was no big volume spike like this to the downside. That is the death of these setups, is a spike like this to the downside, right? This was just like a starter, and it looked like it was going to continue, so whatever. I cut it, and I'm still very happy with it, mind you. Very happy with it. I would have liked my 11 cents. I don't know if I would have got it. I don't know if it just, I wasn't paying attention, because once I sold out, I just moved on. But I was looking at 11, 11.5, and 12, and yeah, just didn't get there. Well, it got to 11, but I'm not sure what it got filled. Either way, to 10, 10.5, sensational stuff. Order book looked really good, and then I kind of just puked it. I thought at one point that this might have been okay. This sort of pump, consolidate looking setup. But then this literally, as I was typing that, hey, this might be a good setup later on, and then it's just high volume puke. And then, like I said, high volume puke is where this thing ends. This setup always ends or starts the end right here with a high volume spike. And it puked at like 10 ticks. It's disgusting. Got it from 10 cents to 9.1. It's gross. So yeah, really happy with that. Could have got a little bit more, but it is what it is. Still very happy with it. ILA. Now this one. Oh shit, what was the news for this one? I don't even remember. It was a biopharma. Oh, this is the Ebola one. Yeah. So I didn't think much of it. Took it on match, and we don't really take match these days, but it was gapping up nicely. Shot up, and then we held onto it, and closed at 54. That's it. It just, the momentum stalled, and we just hit out. And then big volumes. You know, once this tanked below 52, the open price, came back to VWAP oddly enough, but once that high volume puke comes in, man, it's really hard to recover. You really do not want this happening on this volume early in the morning, in the first 3 minutes. You just don't want this. You know, a larger market cap company can withstand just a quick spike. We just saw a stock. What was it? NWL, the very first stock we talked about today, withstood it. That's fine. This is a specky dog shit company. They're all, anything under 50 mil is by default dog shit. Okay, this is 100 mil, so still, it's still garbage, guys. Come on. And that's it. Yeah. So once it's there, it's just like you're kind of gambling if you buy it. I think. Like I don't see anything there. There's just nothing there. It's just it's cooked in the first 3 minutes. So we scraped like a couple of $100. We didn't even really get much out of it. It was practically a break-even trade. So nothing too exciting there. What else have we got? I think that's it. RGT, WTC. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Oh, hold on. DDR. So we talked about the take profits. Sorry. We talked about this sort of pivot here dipping below 1150, and we got it around in the 1140s. Happy about that. It is bouncing a little bit more than I'd like. Really keen to see what happens at 12, and unfortunately, it might be more like 12.12. So I'm thinking re-add on that short position at 12.12, 12.10, 12.12, somewhere around there, and to sort of retest these levels that it broke from. So retest and then roll over. So hopefully that's it. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace.